Hello, this is Tim. This is book number one for August, or let's just say the book for the first half of August. As you know, I do two books a month, and we're dealing with the black vote. So, black vote is always important. The 1800 race for president. Burr did not show his anger publicly in 1796. Even years later, in his memoirs, he was silent about the 1796 election. But it had to gall him that he received only half the votes given to Adams's running mate, Thomas Pinckney. Yet he continued to run New York's Republican opposition to Hamilton, and in the run-up to the 1800 election, he completely flummoxed his old foe. The key to New York's presidential vote was the race for the New York Assembly, since it would choose the presidential electors. Once again, Burr conferred on strategy with Jefferson, this time meeting him in Philadelphia. He told the vice president that everything would depend in New York on the 12 New York City delegates to the Assembly, and he thought he would win those crucial seats for the party. This news comforted Jefferson, since it looked as if Pennsylvania, which had given Jefferson 14 of its 15 votes in the last election, would not be casting any votes in 1800. New York, in that case, would be the only middle state going Republican. If it did, without New York, Jefferson said, it would then require a Republican vote both from New Jersey and Pennsylvania to preponderate against New York, on which we could not count with any confidence. The deadlock in Pennsylvania, which promised to keep the state out of the election, reflected a general struggle between states that chose electors statewide, which gave an advantage to the majority within the state, and those that chose by district, which gave votes to minority enclaves. The Republicans saw that they had lost the 1796 election by a mere 3 electoral votes, and blamed this on the district system that had let Federalists reap 1 extra vote from 3 generally Republican states: Virginia, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. In all 3 states, they tried to remedy this situation. Jefferson said the registering minorities was more democratic, but that Virginia could not continue to practice without putting itself at a disadvantage vis-a-vis states with a winner-take-all procedure. All agreed that an election by districts would be best, if it could be general, but while 10 states choose either by their legislatures or by a general ticket, it is folly and worse than folly for the other 6 not to do it. In these 10 states, the majority is entirely unprecedented, or unrepresented, and their majorities not only have the weight of their whole state in their scale, but have the benefit of so much of our minorities as can succeed at a district election. Federalists had carried 5 Virginia districts in 1799 congressional elections. To prevent the vote from being repeated a year later in the presidential contest, Madison proposed and drafted a change in the law that called for statewide elections, making possible a Republican sweep. Federalists claimed that this would prevent a third of Virginians from having any say in elections, or in the election. Though the change did favor the majority party, its work was not finished. Voters, instead of naming a known person from each district, had to vote for statewide candidates, singled out by the central party. The information on these candidates had to be spread, along with their connections to the Jeffersonian establishment. One means for coping with this problem was to make sure that most electors were well known outside their districts. Madison himself was put up as one of the electors, along with famous men like Edmund Pendleton and George Wythe. Jefferson himself arranged for ample printed material to be distributed to each district, while warning his agents to keep his role in the effort secret. It was practice he had instituted in 1799, and maintained through the election year. Do not let my name be connected with the business, he told the party's state chairman. I trust yourself only with the secrets that these pamphlets go from me. And so there you get some election strategy, um, 1800s. Sounds very similar to what goes on today. Electoral colleges, which districts could vote, and who's writing what. So you have super PACs now who are supposedly not coordinated with campaigns. They speak for the candidate on their own. So, nothing's new under the sun. I thank you for your support. I ask that you take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.